Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday, June 24th. I am actively editing the June video right now, which will probably be like I made my cat a couch. And I cannot not have something to do with my hands. So I've been crocheting, and I have completely blown past the point where I can show you a completely untouched cake of this yarn. But I'm going to show you before I get any further in it. This absolute stunning beauty is the Candy Floss Caron upside down cake. And I am making a cardigan. And at the rate I'm going, this thing is going to reach the floor. So two things. I'm using a 7mm hook. It just felt right. I didn't really, think about it. I just grabbed one and I was like, you know what, this works. And I have made this raglan style. So started, with the nice little corners. Then we added in some sleeves. So far I have used 1.5 cakes, which means I have 1.5 left. I'm just alternating double crochets and mesh stitches. I think it's turning out really cute. It was when I started up here, before we got to like the purple and pink coming in. The blue, yellow, green, I was very scared. I'm like, it's giving clown. I nothing against clowns, nothing against people who like clowns. It's just not for me. My grandma had a lot of creepy clown shit. It had an impact on me as a child. I don't like them. But once the rest of the rainbow got into the party, the clown fears completely went away. This is going to be like if Miss Frizzle had to do an episode on rainbows and also happened to have a crochet cardigan to wear for that episode. That's what this will be. I have most of a skein of Pound of Love left in antique white from the butterfly cardigan I made for my friend. So I'm thinking I will use that to do all of the ribbing and the cuffs. And I might add in my sparkly stuff. I haven't decided yet. That's a future me problem. The other thing, exciting news, slightly later today, I should be getting my yarn for the other cardigan I want to make this month. So I will be back, hopefully this afternoon, with a yarn haul. I started that Monday night after what was I working on before that I finished? Oh, I know what I did Monday. I sewed in the lining to all those pumpkin bags. That's what I did. So after I finished that, and I was just like, I can't sit down and edit right now. I need something to do with my hands while my brain returns to solid from a liquid state. And so I got this yarn out because I bought this yarn because I have other cakes of this yarn in a different colorway. Actually, in this colorway that's on the wrapper. And I made a blanket for my friend. And my mom also made a blanket for my friend. But my mom knows how to knit, whereas I don't. So she knit the blanket, and she picked this very charming waffle textured stitch to do. And I'm like, I like that. Will you make me a blanket in that when you decide you want to knit again? Because she likes to knit and then crochet a few things, because knitting takes much longer than crochet. So she said yes, and we did some math, and we had to go get, I had 4 cakes of that, and I needed 2 more to be the same amount of yarn that she used to make my friend's blanket, because we both agreed that that one was a nice size. So we went to Michael's to get more of that, and then they had this, and I got that, and that's why I have it. And again, I needed something to do with my hands, so I started cardigan. So yeah. It's just catch up. I will be back for you in like 5 seconds with a yarn haul. I've got yarn. First and foremost, where did I put it? What's over there? I got my 3 skeins of the purple to finish my Tunisian crochet tank top. And then I got my yarn for the Luna cardigan. So I probably won't need all of these, but I got 6 skeins for the body, and then I have 2 skeins for the ribbing, cuffs, if I want to add pockets, all of that stuff. So these are the 2 colors I got. This is Domino in Premier Puzzle, and this one is Tangram. So this one's got all of the minty, tealy prettiness, and then this one's got the purple and teal together. And then I have 2 of the solid purples to do all of, like I said, the ribbing and stuff. And if you go onto Premier's website, with the solids specifically, they list in the listing all of the colors that each solid goes with, because Premier is here to help. So I'm going to do all of my squares in these. I'm going to alternate them, do like a checkerboard kind of pattern, but big checkerboard. And then all of my ribbing details, cuff details, all of the outer edges of things. You usually want them in a darker color because that's what's going to be rubbing up against stuff. That's what's going to be getting sweated on by my hands, and, you know, less stainage on this than on that pretty light green stuff. So these will get put away for now, and I will start that probably when we get back from our little mini vacation, because I'm not taking it with me. Yeah. The pause. These aren't very big, and I didn't think they were going to be very big, and I'm just fingers crossed they're enough, because here's what I'm thinking, what I would like personally for this all to work out. This finishes the front panel, this finishes the back panel, and then this one I can use to do like ribbing and all of the edges around the arm and neck holes. In my ideal world, that's how this works out. But we'll just have to see. But that being said, my stuff came, all the stuff I ordered showed up, no extras, nothing damaged or broken or any of that, so win. I am going to go finish that.
All right, so we're going to leave for our vacation in about an hour. And I'm not bringing this with me because it's large and it's connected to a pound of love because it's large. So as you can see, got the cuffs on, got those done. And then I did start this in the middle. I had a different plan. Usually when I do my corners, I'll just do like a 5 in the corner and it curves around and it's like a nice round curve. And I've done that on other cardigans, but this ribbing is 15 stitches long and it wasn't working. So I said, fuck it. But this piece right here on the bottom, from this corner to the middle, took me 3 fucking hours last night. So I got all of this done this morning. It's 2 in the afternoon. I think I started at like 9. I would like to get up to the collar before we leave, but I don't entirely know if that's going to happen. I do fucking love how it looks. Now, I'm normally a big subscriber to the, like, your cuffs and your ribbing should be dark because they're what's gonna be, like, in the most contact with any potential dirt or mess or what have you. But rainbow cloud combo is what this wanted to be. Like, I don't know. It's super bright. It's super cute. I freaking love it. Progress update. But like I said, this is big and bulky and I'm not bringing it with me. I've got the purple Tunisian knit tank top and then I've got some other cotton yarn because I'm hoping I'll finish that long before we're coming home. We're only leaving for the weekend, but hopefully I get that done like by tomorrow afternoon. We'll see what happens. But I do like how this is coming. This is the progress update. I don't know how much I'm going to film whilst I'm away. We shall see. All right. Clearly I'm back. I'm a little sunburnt. I know better. But we went in the ocean without putting on sunscreen. And the ocean was like, that was stupid of you. And yes, it was. But I did, as you can see, finish this tank top. These are a little bit in. If I were to redo it, I think it counted in 25 from each side. So if I were to do it again, I'd probably only count in 20. But honestly, grand scheme of things, minor. It's a little baggy here, and I know I did that on the last one, but I was working on this in the car, so I couldn't really stop and try it on. So that's where we ended up. It's fine. I'll still wear it. I still think it's comfortable. I did bring and start a second project. I have this, which is Premier Hipster Cotton. The color is Summer Splash. I have 4 of them. And I am making another tank top. I know, shocker, me and my cotton tank tops. I love them. This one I am working side to side. So this next row, I think, will be the start of the straps. But this fun purple green yarn. While we were out, we stopped at an outlet mall. And I got matching Vans to go with my tank top. And I think they're so fucking cute. So that was a little fun thing that happened. I have not made any more progress on the rainbow cardigan. Haven't touched that yet. My hands hurt so damn bad. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because I have finished the miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of ribbing that I have put on this. So I can operate a jacket here. I have an incredibly tall collar, but that's going to get folded over. I don't intend to put any closures on this. I tend this just to be like a house jacket. And we're going like rainbow and cloud vibes, right? Which means it obviously needs scallops. Thank you for saying it with me. And you know what? I have this much left of this freaking skein of antique white. So we're going to see if we can't use all that up. Put beautiful, beautiful scallops on this. I will, once we're all scalloped up, show you how long this is. But I'm just going to tell you right now, it goes halfway down my calves. Like, I think there's less than a foot between the bottom of this and the floor. It's super comfy. And like, could I put little clips on this so it could get all clipped up nice? And I could, but I just want this to be something I can throw on when the air conditioning is over conditioning me. because I get cold really easily. But as you can see, because I did the nice mesh stitch, like it's not too warm, but this is nice and thick. And again, I normally am not like a big, I believe that all of your ribbing should be the darkest color so that it can absorb all the dirt and grime. But we're ignoring that for the whimsy, because the whimsy is also important. But yes, this goes all the way down. And it took me 3 days to do the rainbow part and 3 days to do the ribbing part. And because I'm extra, we're now going to do scallops. Because it needs scallops. It wants, look at it. It wants scallops on it. It does. I did think too about maybe pinning this, like when I do my scallops, so that it stays folded. But I kind of like that it can go like that and just be super dramatic. So the cuffs and this is 15 stitches long, single crochet, back loop only ribbing. This bad boy is 30. Do I ever want to do ribbing again? No, I don't. Will I? Obviously. Was it worth it? Clearly. But I'm gonna plans for the evening, eat dinner, add the whimsy. It is very hard for me to find a spot in which to film in which you can see the whole of me. But look, it's done. It's long. There's my free internet feed that you don't get to enjoy close-ups of, but you do get close-ups of my lovely scallops. I did all of this ribbing, the cuffs, the scallops, with the pound of love I bought for the Monarch Butterfly Cardigan. And this is what's left. This is like maybe half of a big twist value skein, if that. So, I used up plenty of this yarn, as I was hoping to. I used most of 3 skeins for the body. And again, I intend this just to be something I wear around the house in the summer because the air conditioning can get a little intense for me. And I get cold. And this I can like throw on and it's not, encompassing the all of me. And it's got breathableness because of the mesh. I think it's super cute. It's super whimsical. And if you don't like it, that's okay because it's not for you. It's obnoxious as fuck. And it's for me. But I am. For a project I did not really plan on making, I'm very happy with how this has turned out. I do want to wash it. This is, freshly crocheted, not washed, because I do think it's going to stretch out nicely, so it might get even longer, which means it might get almost down to the floor, because it's already more than halfway down the lower half of my leg. But yeah, for the scallops, I did 5s here and then a single crochet, and I kind of just went every 2 ridges. And then up on the turns, I did 9 in the corners, double crochets. Did it need the scallops? No. Do I regret adding them? No. It's probably the quickest part of this project. I do love the obnoxious collar. And I don't know how far it bends over on the back, but Michelle Jasic had a minor mental breakdown over about a month with the Project Hail Mary cardigan, and I haven't seen it yet because I'm waiting for it to come out on home release on DVD because I love physical media. This DVDs, 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 video games. It's where all my things live. And I have like 200 DVDs, I think, thereabouts. So yeah, I'm waiting for that to come out on DVD and then I will watch it because that's how I am as a person. But she did a big ol' folded over collar. And when I was working up this, I did the bottoms, I did the sides, and then I added the collar on last because I was like, do I really want to do that? And I was like, we'll see how much yarn I have left. And I had plenty of yarn. So, like I said, this is 30 single crochets tall and worth it because it's cute as hell. I would say the biggest flaw on this is I should have put the corner a little farther back so that this wrapped around me a little better. But again, it's not something I intend to have closures on. It's not something I intend to be closed. I want it to be open and floppy. So it's fine. It's fine. We are turning our lazy mistakes into deliberate choices, and we are owning it. It's fine. Rainbow cardigan, done. I will continue with the side-to-side tank top as my next project tomorrow. Because tonight, I finished the rainbow cardigan, and no one can ask any more of me. And I wound up the leftover yarn, so I'm doing really good. So all I gotta do is put the yarn away, and we're good. So I'm gonna go do that.
All right, so I did show you briefly this tank top I started making that matches the shoes I got. But as I was working on it, I had a bit of a problem. So if you look at this end, see how there's a little bit of white, but it's mostly like this light yellow color? And then you look at this skein, and there's like a lot of white. Like, a lot of white. So I did end up cutting it out. I think I'm going to have plenty of yarn. Because in the... So here is where I cut the white. Because if you look at this previous skein, there's just a couple splotches of white, but it's mostly yellow. And then if I had done all that white, all this white down here, like these last 3 rows would be just white. So, I bought all 4 of these skeins at the same time, and they are apparently the same dye lot. I have enough yarn. I'm going to be able to make the tank top I want. It will be fine. But inconsistencies like that irritate me a little bit. On the other hand, how freaking cute is this yarn? I'm so excited for this. Let me see if I can... oh, it's going to be so cute. It's so early 90s coded. I love it. So I did also, if you can tell from the little glimpse I gave it earlier, I did rip it out and drop down a hook size. So in the clip I showed you when I showed my shoes, that part I had done like, this much in a 5mm hook. And I dropped it down to a 4mm hook just because it's less like see-through and I can wear it without having to wear something underneath it. And I do have to steam it, and I do want to put ribbing around the inside and down here. But I am really happy with how the shape turned out. I worked it while holding it up to, it's under that, the shell tank top I made with the other Premier Hipster cotton. So the only difference really on this one is that the neck is lower, and that's just because when I held it up, when I did it to the original neck, and they'll probably actually sit more here because that's where all my tank tops do end up sitting, but it was just like really high. And I was like, I don't think I like that. So I dropped it down that it's the same as the sides, which will be fine if I want to add a little more in there as like a ribbing. I can do that. But that's progress on this. I have to make another one, obviously, and then sew it together and have an actual wearable tank top.
All right. I finished my tank top. I think it's super cute. I absolutely love the colors, and it's very comfy. I have, excluding the large chunks of white I had to cut out, like 2 skeins left, which is fine. I can grab, hold on here. This is all of the like straight up just white I had to cut out of the 1 skein of yarn. And I thought it was 2 skeins of yarn that had it, but it was this skein of yarn where you can see like very clearly the large, just straight up white chunk. It was only this last section of the yarn that had that problem. And like 4 stitches away from finishing the panel, there was a factory knot. So I cut that, finished the panel, and I didn't even get to the part where it was just straight white. So I have, you can tell, because like this green stripe is big, this green stripe is very small. So this one I had white to cut out of. And I think same with this green stripe, I cut the white out of. So there's at least one on each panel, so it's kind of balanced. This will sit a little bit lower too once I block it, but I just finished it like 20 minutes ago. So there's that. I love the colors. It's rocket power. It's early 90s. It's obnoxious and I fucking love it. I love the teal purple neon green combo. It's an excellent combo. So this shape wise, 10 out of 10. Fit wise, I wish I did, because I have enough yarn. I think I could have gotten away with it. I did 50 on the side, and I wish I had done maybe 60 and then had the ribbing added on the bottom. But I do think it will steam out just fine. So there's that. But like the straps are a nice size. And then when I did this, because I had to slip stitch back down these, because like when I got to here, I would chain up. I think it was 20, it was at 53, and then I added 23 chains. So that would have turning chain, and then did 22 back down to make the straps. And then the straps ended up 4 wide. And I don't think I would have wanted them an extra row wider. So I just slip stitched down the sides. So like the sides of the straps were nice and finished because both sides, one side was the chain and I worked into the back bump. So like this side going up just looks like the chain, and then this side going down has a slip stitch. So I just did this ribbing over the raw double crochet edges, and then I match stitched it to the clean stitches on the side of the straps. And this down here is just 10 stitch long single crochet ribbing, and it like almost perfectly does the full gradient on the bottom ribbing, which was not intentional. It's just how it worked out. I'm probably going to wear this thing until it falls apart. Like, obviously, wear it, clean it ad infinitum. Not just I'm going to wear this and not any other shirt, but fit, color, all aspects, 10 out of 10. And it wasn't that bad to make. I can put up my instructions here, but like the length I start with is this side length, so you can change that. And then like in between my 2 straps here I have 11 rows, because that's how fat I am, and I have 8 rows on either side because that's how fat I am. And if you are a different size of fat, you can add or detract rows, but I will include what I did in the description, so you can check that out. Fat is not a derogatory term unless you choose to make it one. And that's where I'm going to leave us. All right, so last night I finished this, so of course I had to wear it today. It's so comfy. It's already at the top for best tank top so far. But I'm going to clip this on here, and then do we remember these? Because it's time for these. I am going to make a patchwork cardigan, and these will be the squares, and then I have this lovely dark purple for all the ribbing and cuffs and such. And I'm going based on I think it's the Luna cardigan by Miss Moon in Heaven, I think is her name. And I've seen a couple of her vlogs, and I saw somebody else make it. So I'm just going with like the style of construction she uses, which is where she makes all of the squares for the body and then just attaches them in long strips. Like she works them up in long strips, and then you just attach the strips. So you make 4 really long strips for over the shoulder, and then a short one for up the middle of the back. And then I'm going to do my arms a little different because I don't like the way they are on hers. But shape-wise, I'm going to measure this because this is the perfect oversized sweater. Like, it's comfy, it's really large, but like, I love the shape of the body, I love the shape of the arms, so we're just going to do this, but cardigan instead. And I am so sorry if that was obnoxious on the mic. So I might make it not quite as long, although I do really like the length and I probably have enough yarn. I might make it this long. We'll see what happens, but I'm just going for like this level of boxiness, this kind of balloon style arm, and yeah, so I'm going to measure this. I'm going to do some math, and then I'm going to get started. And I'm specifically using this one because I have tried to do before, like measuring clothing to make crochet clothing, and yarn is thicker than a lot of fabric used to make clothing, and it stretches different. So I find I get a better result if I measure yarn to yarn, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm not making sense. But, so, that's why I'm using specifically this sweater. Alright. Say hello, Cinder. Say hello to Kitch. And this is how far I've gotten on this. So I have completed all of the body strips. This one, I still have to block. So it's not stretched it out, but as you can see, it's not perfectly lining up at the end there. But there were some spots in this yarn that I don't super love, and it's mostly in this green yarn, and you can see it really clearly in this one. Whatever's happening in that, where it's like kind of warm, like the rest of the green is nice and cool. And it's in that one, and a little bit in that one, and in that one over there. And I kind of did my best to put it all in the back. But so those would be the 2 front panels, the first 5 squares where the opening is. And I'm pretty happy with all of those. There's a little bit of that color in that square over there. But it's about the best I can do, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and get this strip all folded up and put onto the blocking board because I'm blocking these out so the squares are 5.5 by 5.5 inches. And then I am going to start sewing these 3 strips together because I have to put this together and put it on to determine how I want the arms to work up. Because what I did is I measured, you can kind of see it right there, my sweater, that orange sweater there. And then I looked up just like a basic layout for a patchwork cardigan. And then I did some math to make the size 5 by 5 in this case of squares match to the math on that. So that was 28 inches across, and this will be 27.5, I think. So you have 5.5 and then 11, and then you double that, so you have 22 plus another 5.5 is 27.5. If my maths. All right. So yesterday I did all of my sewing, and I have woven in most of these ends. I just haven't snipped them off yet because who knows? Things might happen. But I had to finish this part so that I could see how far down my arm the shoulder sticks, so I could calculate if how long I need my sleeve to be. All the thoughts are there, but they're not wording out very well. So I'm thinking, I'm just gonna kind of yoink this over this way. My thought was 3 long, which could get away with 2, honestly. We're gonna have a cuff on there. So I'm gonna line that up to the edge. Yeah, actually. Now that's 2 by 2, which is fine there, but is not gonna be fine up here. All right, so we're gonna have to go 3 around and 2 long, because I could do this and then add the, but I think it'll be too much. Like, I think that is gonna be better. So I'm gonna have to make the sleeve squares, so we're gonna go 2 by 3s, and because of where I'm attaching them, ooh, okay, I'm gonna have to do some figuring, and I'll let you know. Okay, so for the sleeves, I had a quandary because I don't want to mess up the checkerboard pattern I worked so hard to make. But 4 squares was way too big. So this was my solution. I just made little half squares on the end. So when I seam this up, this will be the like bottom. It'll be like here. I don't really think you're gonna see it too much, you know. But I'm gonna block this. I'm gonna show you how I blocked all of the strips. Now I have this little extra spot up top for the half squares, but when I blocked the strips, I worked each square on individually. This I can just fold in half because this is it. This is the whole piece. But I would work each square on to the pegs and then push it down as I got to the next square because I still needed to be blocked. Oh, come on. So it's a little fiddly to do it this way, but I think it's worth it because it definitely helped with all of those. Are you being so for real with me right now, blocking board? So I don't know if this is visible. So you see how I kind of have the end on here is folded on, and then I just work each layer at a time. And then the other thing I did, and I will show you this in a minute, is when I weaved in all of the ends on each square, I kind of cross wove them into the color that was diagonal from them. So like, I'll show you in a second. Let me just get this on here, and I have to make 4 of these because I need 2 sleeves, and each sleeve is 2 rows long. I'm going to start with 4 of these anyway. How's that? If we put them together and we decide we need a third one, we can do a third one. So just work everything onto all the pins, shove it down, and then I would start the next one. But again, I'm going to show you how I did what I did in here. So in here, this end is from this square, and this end is from this square, and this end is from this square, and this end is from that square. So I kind of wove them across, and I was really careful when I was like pinning everything to try and get these corners to be as even as possible. So even though I still have all of these ends attached, all of the ends are also woven in. I just want to wait until everything's together before I start cutting things, you know? Just in case. Because I've had that happen to me a couple times where I'm like, I don't want to weave in all these ends later. Let me do it now. And then I snip them all off. And then I decide I want to change something. So I've not done one of these before. So we're just they're woven in and we'll save it all to the end. But I mean, you can see how nice and square these turned out. So the blocking board, absolutely worth it, even though it is a little fiddly to fold a 10 square strip up on there. But I did it. I did it for all of them. I did the first 2 and I ended up steaming them because I made 3 the first day. And then I made the last long one and the back yesterday, and then did all the sewing yesterday. So when I did the first 3, I had the first 2 on there, which is slightly more than those pins can handle actually. And I steamed it, ate lunch. After lunch, I pulled them off. Or no, after lunch I made the 3rd strip. When I finished the 3rd strip, I pulled off the first 2, and then I blocked the 3rd strip, and I just let that one sit overnight. And then I made the 5-piece strip yesterday, and I blocked that immediately. And then I started making the last long strip, and then I put that on the blocking board, and while that one was blocking is when I sewed everything together. And then after I had everything sewed together, because the last strip I made was actually one of the inside strips here. So I did like the 2 long strips in the middle for the back, and then like this was the strip on the blocking board. So I ate dinner, and then after dinner, sewed that one on, sewed this one on. And yeah, so if we hold this up, you see I've got, this is the shoulder seam. So we have a full green square and a full purple square on that sleeve, and then a half a green and a half a purple. Because I worked too hard on this goddamn checkerboard. Fuck it up to make the sleeves fit right. And my solution came from, I'm like, well, if I had checkerboard fabric, what would I do? And I would have the half squares on the inseam. So that's how I made them. Is that the correct answer? Is that the best answer? I think it's fully subjective. I am not willing to pay extra to have clothes where they're all pattern matched. But I do think if you're making something from scratch and you have the time, the material, and the ability, why not? Why not put in that little extra bit of work to make it just look nice? So that is why I picked the half squares for the 3 around sleeve. Was it necessary? Is anybody but me gonna know? Probably not. Who cares? I care. I care, so I'm doing the little half squares. I have to make 3 more of those, and I will probably see you again after I do all my sewing. So last night I sewed everything together and it's super cute. But we have a problem. Problem is, I don't like the way the arms are fitting. The armpit is way too much in my armpit, so it's just bulky and uncomfy, and I have to make the sleeves longer. So I'm going to solve both of these problems with one step. I'm going to disassemble this. I'm going to open the sides up, and I'm going to take the sleeves back off, and I am going to insert a row here between the sleeve and the body, and I am going to make it so I'm going to make it so that it is 4 squares long at its widest point. So it'll attach down here, which will drop the armpit down and give me some more wiggle room. And it's going to slope up to meet this half square size here. So I'm going to make like a triangle piece. And then that will be also an extra row on the sleeve. So it will be long enough. Am I thrilled about this? No. Is anybody ever thrilled when something they do doesn't work out and then they have to redo it? I doubt it. But trial and error requires error, and I have not made a patchwork cardigan like this. The only time I have sewn squares together like this has been for a blanket. So, we're learning. This is why I have to fuck up at night before bed, or like realize that I fucked up at night before bed, because then I have all night to think on it and percolate, and I'm not just like, I must fix this, because I think this is going to be the perfect solution. So I'm going to go do that now. Quick update. As you can see, I have added the final piece onto the arm, and the armpit being down here, way better. What an improvement. I mean, gosh, that triangle, it's doing a lot of work. The other thing I did, I don't know if you can tell, is I steamed the crap out of this. I'm not wearing the best tank top to demonstrate the fit of this, but so be it. Because this tank top's really long. So, like, once I add ribbing, it will be as long as my tank top. And then obviously I gotta add ribbing around here. I kind of want to do another giant collar like I did on the rainbow cloud one. But I am quite pleased now with the shape. I have perfectly kept up the checkerboard. We have no boo-boos, I don't believe. I do have a couple ends I gotta tuck in through to the other side just because of flipping things around that happened. But yeah, next step, cuffs and ribbing. I still have a skein left of each of these, so I don't know what all I'm gonna do. I was contemplating maybe a hood. If I do that, then I can't do the big collar. So problem solving will happen. I'm gonna start with the cuffs because I think that's an achievable goal for this evening, and then we can tackle the rest tomorrow because, you know, we got way late on this journey. But yeah, the armpits lower down and the sleeve length are both much needed improvements. And we've accomplished them. So that is the update. We are back into jacket format, cardigan format, wearable things and not just oodles of pieces on the floor. I finished it. I ended up going with just plain ribbing here along the edges. Got the matching cuffs. I have a skein left of each of these yarns, and I think I have a plan for them, but that's gonna have to wait. I'm so happy with how this turned out. The sleeve change, absolutely necessary. And like I could, if I wanted to, like fold these cuffs back. Just have like little baby half cuffs. Which also works. I wore this all day yesterday because If you don't know, part of the reason that the Amazon rainforest is the Amazon rainforest is because it gets a lot of nutrients from dust that blows over the Atlantic from the Sahara. But the dust not only goes to Brazil, it also comes up north in Florida. So it's been hazy and hot and gross out. And so I've been inside in the air conditioning, which has been pretty much running nonstop because it's hazy and hot and gross out. Um, and I've been wearing this, and it is a bulky, like weight 5 yarn, so it's a little bit thicker than a lot of my other cardigans, but it's just like the perfect fit, the perfect like amount of oversize to balance the bulkiness of the like crochet fabric, and it's so comfy. It's so fucking comfy. um and yeah, I have been wearing it nonstop. I'm I had, not gonna lie, when I was making up the stripes, and especially because I put a lot of it on the back, a lot of like the really grayed out stripes, especially not so much with the purple, but with the green. Like there's like it's a warm gray with a cool green, and it just, I don't know, I didn't love it. Still don't really love it, but it gave me doubts. And when I finished this, like the vision is visioning. It's so fucking cute. My doubts were unfounded. That is the wrap up to that long rambling, not even a sentence. But yeah, she's done. I am my friend commissioned me to make her a cat couch, so I'm in the process of that. And those are all of my updates for you. Hello everyone. Um Two things. I will insert a picture here. My friend commissioned me to make her a cat couch after seeing how my cat couch turned out, and I crochet for free, so I'm more than happy to crochet for money. I don't have any footage or anything of that. I just have the picture of the finished product because if I am going to crochet for money and not just willy-nilly in my free time, I'm going to treat it like I'm crocheting for money. So I was just focused, taking notes, tracking my time, all the things one does. So I don't have any footage of that, but it went pretty fast. 25 hours over 5 days, which I don't think is bad at all. And then I stuffed it in a vacuum bag and fit it into a large flat rate box, which is like 12 by 12. So, go me. So, that is what I have been working on. And in between working on that, and the times where it's just like I needed to wait on materials or I just needed time to think through what I was going to do next, I have been engaging in a little masochism. Because this is weight one yarn. It's very splitty. I am using this absolute stunner of a hook. She is 2.25 millimeters. Bull. And I'm making another tank top. I know you're all shocked. So this is more in line with the original tank top I was inspired to make, which was made in crochet lace. And this is pushing my patience limits as it is, but it is worked alternating double crochets and mesh stitch. I am quite literally this far. I do love how this yarn is working up, and I've made all of that, and like there's still a decent amount of yarn in this cake, and I have 6 of these. Like I might be able to get 2 tank tops out of this. We'll see what happens, but I am very pleased with the progress thus far. And I just wanted to stop in and show you what I've been up to. I kind of, like I said, I just locked in on that couch and I was focusing, and it's been 5 days. It just, that's how these things go. I am a goal-oriented creature, but I am very much not a self-motivated. I need external motivations, like my friend commissioning me to make her a couch. Because if it's on my schedule and I'm like, well, I'll get that done when I feel like it, I never feel like it. I'm looking at you, skull, granny square, blanket. I have a plan for that. We'll revisit in October, but I have a plan for that. But yeah, I'm gonna work on this tank top, and I think I have nothing else for you right now. If I do, you'll see me again.
I had plans, okay? I had plans. I was gonna finish this one panel of this tank top, or at least this skein, and instead, I have spent the last 4 days as a faucet of snot. Not crochet, because I have been just sick and gross, and like just enough of a fever that like the air conditioning is actual literal torture. But then you go outside in the humidity and the head cold is like, no, we're not doing this. So I started a puzzle, is what I did. I brought the box just to show you. I started this puzzle. I'd say I'm like half done. I have like, yeah. So I have like this corner, like this whole side done, and like most of this green one, most of this pink one. I have this whole corner done, and then I have all this yellow stuff done. And I have to finish, the whole middle. And this, I've gotten further. So if we do this part goes in there. So I'm like almost to the second strap. I do really like how it's turning out. I don't know if this will be enough to finish the panel. I'm thinking it won't be, which is fine because I have 6 skeins of this. If I could do it in 2 skeins, and then I have 4 more skeins, I can make 3 tank tops. We'll see what happens. And then my one other good news is they had a rhubarb at the grocery store. And when I lived in Wisconsin, if it was summertime, there was rhubarb at the grocery store. Like, no questions asked. This is the first time in 7 years living in Florida I can recall seeing it. I am so happy. It's one of my favorite snacks. I just dip it in sugar and eat it. But all that being said, it's Thursday the 23rd. I have to have this video out on the 26th. So this is just my little wrap up because I had plans. They didn't happen. So I'm going to go start editing. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.